Oh, hi guys. That wasn't staged at all. Today I wanted to make a quick little video. Today someone sent me an article on social media. I get quite a few articles that people tag me in on social media, and most of them are paranormal. Obviously due to the whole fact that I played Merrick Laura in Scariest Places, and people from the paranormal world like to tag me in various things, which is great. I do enjoy reading some of the articles that come through. But today, this article that was called "Haunting Picture Shows Ghostly Face Peering Out of Derelict Lunatic Asylum." The reason why I'm making a video is because I've actually been to this asylum. I went about 5 or 6 years ago with a group of friends that I met doing urban exploration. Now, for those of you that don't know what urban exploration is, it's basically walking around abandoned buildings, taking pictures, and then sharing them on community pages. And I used to do a lot of urban exploration when I was a bit younger. And one night we were at Denby Asylum, which is about a 40-minute drive from where I live. And one night we went to Denby and we'd met a group of guys from North Wales, Queensferry way. And we became very good friends. And then we started going to Denby every other week. We'd meet up on a Friday night. And it just became a thing for about a year or two. Every week we went to new places and explored these abandoned buildings. And they were, honest to God, they were the best time of my life. They were just, even thinking about it now, they were just crazy times. We would go to McDonald's after we'd been out walking around these buildings, and we'd just get up to all sorts, and the age range went from about 20 to 40, 45, 50. There was Deb, Diane, Leslie, Nikita, there was Rob, there was me, there was Louise, there was Nadine. There was a huge group of us that used to meet up every Friday, and it became a community. We were going to these places, walking around and just having a laugh, and it was they are really memorable moments that I'll never forget. The reason why I'm telling you this story is because this article, in the article, it was in Talgarth, which is one of the asylums in the Brecon Beacons. And the reason why I wanted to bring this story up is because it reminded me of a time we all went down to the Brecon Beacons, to Talgarth, to walk around the asylum. We'd been to Denby, so we were quite used to walking around places like that, and we'd always said to ourselves, one day we'll put a bit of money aside and we'll go down for a couple of nights and we'll stay over and we'll have a laugh. So we booked to go down, and I think we were down for just under a week. I think we were there Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday, and we'd all gone to Costco and bought loads of food for the week. We'd all chipped in, and then we all went down. And when we got there on the Monday, we all decided to get some rest, and then we'd go to the asylum on the Tuesday. And we'd gone down in 2 cars, and it was a bit like a convoy. It was so funny. The only thing that was missing was walkie-talkies. Now, if we'd had walkie-talkies, I could have died happily, but we didn't have walkie-talkies. And we got down, and on the Tuesday, we all planned to go to the asylum at about 9-10 o'clock when it got dark. So we went down, and we'd got to the asylum, and it was all barricaded up, and we thought, we're going to have to try and get in somehow. There'll be an entrance somewhere. And not knowing this place, we didn't know where to start. The asylum itself, it's acres and acres of land. There's about 5 to 6 different buildings. It was big, as you can imagine. It was big, And so we went down and we'd parked the cars up at the side of the road, and we decided to walk 10 minutes into the asylum, that if, just to keep a low profile, because we didn't know where we were. We didn't know if there was security. We didn't know if the police were going to come. And we were walking up, and the church was on the left and the asylum with the big gate was on the right. And we thought, well, what we'll do is we'll check out the church first. It's easy access. And so we got into the church. I think one of our friends, Will, had to jump through the window to open the door. And he let us all in, and we all walked in. And we're walking around this abandoned church. And there's pews and music sheets just all over the floor. Tables, chairs. And then there's like the podium. And we were walking around. We were in there for about five minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And one of our friends, Will, had seen this rope that went all the way up to the roof. And I remember him saying, "Oh, I wonder what this is." We thought it was like a pulley for the vents, because this building's probably 1700s, so it would have loads of Victorian style mechanisms inside. So he pulls it, and then the next minute the church bell starts to ring. And this is 10, 11 o'clock at night in a village in Wales that probably has a few people living around the area, and sound travels. So this bell starts ringing. And in the next minute, we're all in a state of panic, and we're all running. And I remember we all started to run back to the car, and that was the thing. We all went, right, to the car. Let's get to the car before the police come or someone in the local area phones security or whatever. We were all trying to get out this door, and there's about 10 of us. And I remember us all just pushing each other to get out, and then we ran across the field. And then we got back into the car, and we'd got into the car, and we were driving out of the estate that this hospital was in. I remember there was 2 4x4 police cars that had obviously, they must have had a call, or someone had reported it or something. So we were driving round, and it's in the middle of it's probably a forest. It's in the middle of a forest. And we'd parked the car on a side road, and then we just turned all the lights off. We're in the middle of nowhere. We didn't know where we were, and we turned these lights off. And these 2 police cars went past. So we thought, right, so they went past. And then we got the cars. We turned the lights on, and we went the opposite way, back into town. Now, the police, obviously, they know the area, and they caught up with us. And we were in town at this point. And the police stopped us. And it was about 11, 12 at night. And the police said, "Oh, what are you doing, guys?" And we just, I didn't know what to say. I mean, I'm quite good at improvising in situations like that. But the Deb, Les, and Diane, they just turned around and said, "Oh, we're owl hunting. We're part of the Bird Trust, and we're trying to look for a Barney owl." And they bought it. The police actually bought it and went, "Oh, right, we thought you were up at the asylum." We went, "Oh, no, is there an asylum here?" And at this point, I'd just gone with whatever was being said and was like, "Oh, yeah. And I didn't know any kind of birds or whatever, so obviously I kind of went with it. And it was brilliant, and the police just believed us, and they'd obviously tracked the cars, and they'd noticed that we were from the northwest of England, and they wanted to know what we were doing. And they bought the story, and they said, "Oh, be on your way." So then we drove down the road, and then the police had turned off and had disappeared. So we decided to go back. So we went back to the asylum, and we spent about 2 hours walking around. We couldn't get into the main part, but we spent about an hour and a half walking around a few of the buildings that we had access to. But the story that was posted today just reminded me of that time, and it was a very good time. It's a time that I look back with very fond memories. And yeah, so that's the story I wanted to share. And I think the moral of the story is to not take life so seriously, to enjoy the little things and to be grateful for what you have. So I hope you've enjoyed my story, and I hope you all have a great week. Speak soon.